Welcome to Kripalu Online Studio. My name is Christine. I'll be guiding this offering, this Yoga of the Heart 1-hour practice. Whether you're here live or watching the recording, wonderful to be with you. Please gather blocks or something supportive, and definitely just take a moment, everyone, to clear out the nose, as we will do some breath work in and out through both nostrils today. So clearing out the nose, taking a sip of water. This will be an all levels slow practice, but definitely an all levels practice. And we're going to take a mudra and have some mantra and some breath and centering and moving our body, and then a gentle rest at the end. Just finding a place that you're ready to come into stillness. Maybe it's seated, maybe it's standing. And just honoring that the breath we're going to do today is Bhastrika. So if anyone is menstruating or pregnant or has any blood pressure things happening in their body, maybe sticking with Ujjayi or Dirga breath, or just taking it very gently. Those might be aggravating to those situations, might not. Just finding a place to come into stillness. Maybe the eyes lower or close. Global body awareness, right? Just feeling your body in space. I'm just going to read a very short quote from Carl Jung as you just begin to just get yourself centered here. And the quote is, "Your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens." As we sit here getting centered together in community, just honoring that awakening happens when we create space, right? I was thinking about this class this morning, and I likened it to, imagine you went out and purchased a new couch and wanted to put this humongous couch into your living room with the couch that's already there. It doesn't work, right? It doesn't work. You would have to create space for that new thing that you want to invite. So this practice, this Yoga of the Heart practice, today will be creating space. All yoga is creating space, right? But we're going to focus on the heart center and warming up the Agni, the fire, so that things can burn off, right? So we can create space for whatever you want to invite into your entire being, into your heart. So we'll create space. Just gently noticing your breath, how it's breathing. Maybe adjusting the body for one more layer of support, one more layer of comfort. Maybe letting out a sigh or a sound. Maybe placing a hand on the heart, one on the belly, just tuning into if there's any messages or things that would like to be heard when you are, right, awake without dullness. As Desikachar says, awake without dullness. Just a few breaths to listen. Letting a big exhale leave your body from your mouth. Releasing hands down to the lap if They were in contact with your body, opening the eyes briefly. And our mudra today is Agni Mudra, Agni meaning fire. And that is taking your ring finger, technically earth of the 5 elements, and placing it to the base of your thumb, right, to the base of your thumb. And then the pinky finger, middle finger, and index finger just kind of go straight up, maybe looking like a flame, right, looking like a flame. This is Agni Mudra. And so release with, and we'll do that with both hands. So the thumb is just kind of softly folding over that ring finger as the base, the tip of the ring finger goes to the base of the thumb, right? So don't squish it, but just kind of lovingly rest thumb on top of ring finger and allowing them to rest on your lap, face palms up. Maybe a gentle lengthening of the spine and crown of the head up. And then softening energetically down, feeling the support of the earth, whether you're seated or standing. And our mantra today is Swaha. Swa means I, and Ha means burn. So I burn, right? Burning away things that you would like to shift out of your being, to create space for what you'd like to welcome in. So holding this Agni Mudra, we'll say Swaha 3 times. Let's take a breath first. Exhale it out. Swaha, Swaha, Swaha. And our breath to increase that Agni, increase that space making and that burning is Bhastrika. And I gave the contraindications or cautionary things for that. And first we'll do it with the hands down, and then we'll use a pumping action with the arms, just an option. It is a inhale and exhale through the nose with an equal rhythm, same rhythm, in and out, in and out, in and out. The only thing to be cautious of in the torso is to make sure that the spine isn't articulating with it. Gently hold some stability in the torso. Stability doesn't mean not movement. It just means stability, right? So it doesn't have to be frozen like in concrete or ice. It's just a minimal movement in the torso with the breath. So it's in and out through the nose with an even rhythm of both. So let's take an exhale first. In and out through the nose, begin. Often known as bellows breath. Might feel some warmth. Let's do 10 more, find your own rhythm. Exhale through the mouth. Allow the breath to return to an uncontrolled breath. Just feel sensations in your body, in your energy, in your breath. Notice the mind. And before we do the second round, imagine deep in the root of your body, right, the base of your spine, if there is anything in life that you would like to burn off in this moment and release. Imagine like you've written it on a piece of paper and you threw it into a fire pit or into a fireplace if you have one, right? Imagine that in the root of you. And when the next round of Bhastrika breath, it rises up and burns and is released, making space. Let's just take a gentle, uncontrolled few breaths to visualize that if something comes to mind. Still holding Agni Mudra. And this time I will, on the in breath through the nose, extend my Agni Mudra out in front and back with the elbows back. So it's a little pumping action, which you can add or not. So visualizing that something right coiled in the base of your spine. Let's take an exhale together. And begin. And more. Exhale through the mouth. Release Agni Mudra down to the lap. Visualize, feel, sense, creating that space as you burn. Swaha, swaha, swaha. Bringing hands in prayer at the heart center, bowing chin to the heart, thumbs to third eye. Honoring your space that has been created and the space in our hearts to connect with each other. Releasing hands down by the side. Opening the eyes when you're ready, taking an in-breath and raise the arms out to the side and up and overhead and begin floating side to side. Find your pace, your rhythm. Just notice even now as we begin our physical practice, how the sensations of that breath, of that intention, do you feel more spacious in your movement, right? So not judging if you do or don't, but just noticing. Pausing over to the right, pressing the left hip down, circling the left wrist, bringing some movement into the head. Floating up through center and over to the left, pausing there, pressing right hip down, creating space in the physical body. Coming back up through center, palms touch overhead, draw the energy right down the center line, the Sushumna with your hands in prayer. The Sushumna space, an energy major channel, nadi in your body, where so much space can be created. Release hands down by the lap and lift the heart, gaze goes up. Bring the rib cage over to the right, round to the back, chin tucks to the heart, rib cage over to the left and back up to the front. So begin circling just in one direction to begin. Really lifting that heart up when we arrive back in the center. If you're looking for more warmth, the rotation can be at a little enhanced pace. Changing directions and beginning slow. When you begin to go to the right first, the head might, like what would happen if it was almost like a little bobbleheady, right? You weren't holding it in any way, you just allowed it to flow with the spine. Bringing the torso and head back to center, just giving the arms a little shake, getting some prana flowing, a little warmth in the arms. Maybe some energy as the arms go up overhead. Out to the side, down to the earth, right? We can always still be grounded. And then finally placing one hand over the other on the heart center. Maybe feeling some warmth and compassion and love for yourself for showing up for you today. Can you feel spaciousness in your heart? Open to whatever is your intention or open to the mystery. Nice exhale through the mouth. Releasing hands, coming off of the cushion if you were seated, moving that out of the way. Coming to a tabletop shape, I have my blocks towards the top of the mat. Taking all the time you like to support yourself in this tabletop shape, cushioning knees if you're on a harder surface. Allow the hips to sway side to side, bring some movement. Allow the torso to start to roll or cat-cow. So just take the next few breaths to move the body, right? Just letting prana guide, not having a plan, just allowing some movement. For another breath or two. Pausing in the center, fingertips spread wide under the shoulders for support. Of course, on forearms, on blocks, or on fists, take care of the wrists. And then take the left foot and just drop it out off of the mat to the left. So left knee is still on the earth. So just drop the left foot out to the side. So you're kind of on your toes or ball of the left foot. And then begin to rotate that left knee up to the sky. So maybe your left heel comes down, and then stretch the hips back. We're just getting into the hips now. Aiding in sending whatever was at the base of the spine and burning it up to release it. Bring the torso back up to center. Bring that left knee down and bring the left foot back where it began in tabletop. Same thing for the right. Right foot goes out to the right. Rotate that hip so the right knee is facing the sky. Stretch the hips back. Maybe a little wiggle in the hips, a little play. Back to center, right knee in, right foot back. Let's do that one more time each side. Notice your breath. And once more with the right foot. Right knee back, right foot back in, and then walk the hands to the knees and rise up onto the shins. Decide if the tops of your feet are feeling stable on the earth or balls of the feet. You decide. Feel the support of the knees on the earth and the feet as you rise physically and energetically up to the crown of the head. Take an in-breath, raise the arms up overhead. And then exhale, just begin to bring the whole body back from the knees to the fingertips, and then bring it back up. We're kind of doing a little modified camel, just like flowing like a wave. Might be a little heat building. So everything is going back and then coming back up to center. So a nice line from the knees right up to the fingertips as you kind of arc back and come back up. Then release the arms down by the sides, place them on the hips, fingertips pointing down. Again, find some length. And then drop back into camel. Right, you decide if the head wants to move a little or just stretch the front of the neck. Making sure the neck is comfortable. Opening the heart, lifting the heart. Maybe the eyes close. You might clasp the heels. You decide the depth of your camel. Let out some sounds. Rise back up. Have a seat in Hero's Pose. And taking Agni Mudra once more, allowing that palms up Agni Mudra to land on your lap. Just take a few breaths to notice. Is there a place that feels stuck in the body or in the emotions and the energy? And as we continue, when we begin to come up to a stand, right, can you send some breath there? We have to pause to notice where those spaces are. Take an exhale through the mouth. Release the mudra, and then just come up to a standing shape. We're going to move the spine all the ways it goes first. So finding a nice mountain pose, feet parallel, arms down by the side. Draw the crown of the head up to the sky and round forward. Crown of the head up to the sky, arch back from the mid-spine. Back up through center, side bend to the right and the left. Keep the knees soft. And some twists. One more time in the center, crown of the head up, round forward. And lift the heart, arc back from the mid-spine. Side bend to the right and left. Keep those knees soft, almost like your little bounce to it, and some twists. If you'd like to speed up the twists, create a little more burning. Swaha, swaha, swaha. Pick up the back heel. I often, when I am out off of the mat into life, there's something that's frustrating or not serving me out in my day, I often just give it a good swaha, swaha. I'm intentionally burning off and shifting and releasing what is not working for me in that moment. Swaha. Let out some sounds. Get that twist. Really fired up. That Agni within you will create the space. Slowly winding down. And if you're not at the top of your mat, making your way there, having your blocks at the top of the mat, if you are using them. Finding a nice mountain pose, hands on the hips, weight goes into the right foot, soften that right knee, and float that left leg back into a high lunge. Bringing hands in prayer at the heart. Notice how your body feels in the shape and stillness after the twist, after maybe the oxygen feeling like it has a little more free flow in the body, the prana. Not necessarily how you look in this shape, like how do you feel in this shape in this moment? Feel that prana flowing. Begin to lean your torso forward a little bit as the weight goes more into the right foot and bring the left leg up into a figure four. Soften the right knee. Just holding some shapes. Allowing that inner fire to burn. My hands are in prayer. Yours can change if you would like to explore a different placement of the arms. And then float that left leg back once more. In breath, bring the arms up, get long. Bring the hands in prayer and bring the hands down to frame that right foot. Step the right foot back into plank. Pause in plank. Press through the heels, press through the crown of the head. Slowly lower to the earth. Come onto your forearms. Coming into Sphinx. Picking up one leg an inch, point the toe and then the other, creating space for the front of the hip. Then on an in-breath, get really long, lift the heart. And the out-breath, bring the chin to the heart and hug the ribs in. A little cat-cow in Sphinx. In-breath, lift the heart. Gaze might go up, exhale, hug the ribs in, or whatever flow of breath makes sense with your movement. Maybe it's different than mine. So 2 more. Lifting the heart and hugging it in. Bring the spine back to your Sphinx shape. Tuck the toes and raise the hips and legs into forearm plank. Building some more heat, burning off what doesn't serve you, create space. You can stay here, or you can walk the feet up into dolphin. Walk the feet back. You can play, you can raise a leg. Lower the hips. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders, coming into cobra. Let that heart shine forward. Nice length from toes to crown of the head. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Take your time to get there. Give the hips a sway side to side. Walk hands to feet. Hang ragdoll over. Uttanasana. A little sway to the torso so you're standing at the back of your mat. Let out the breath. Give the arms a little swing, a little air under the armpits. Create some coolness. And inhale, root down, rise up, palms touch overhead. Gentle back bend from the mid-spine, lift the heart. Prayer hands down to the heart center. And then right from where you are, standing at the back of your mat, just rotate. So now you're standing facing the top of your mat, the back end, if that was clear. We're just doing the opposite side. Bring the hands to the hips, nice and tall and long in the spine. Weight goes into the left foot, float the right foot back into high lunge. You decide, right? You want your arms to be up, or maybe reach back, heart open. The left knee is bent, right leg is extended back onto the ball of the right foot. If you're wobbling, that's fantastic. Wobble away. Decision making is good for the brain. In those wobbly spaces, right, that's where the burning is happening. It's in the little challenges. Bringing hands to the heart center, torso back up to center if it wasn't already there. Lean your torso just forward a little bit so the weight is now coming onto that left foot. Right leg comes into figure four. Right, if you want an extra layer of challenge, you can close the eyes or find a drishti. And you see that thing that you might have pictured at the base of your spine, right? The heat that you're creating within that inner channel, burning it away. And maybe thinking about what you would like to invite, right? What have you awakened within you in that space, that opportunity? Gently unwind that right leg back to a high lunge. Reach up to the sky, and then bring the hands down to frame that left foot as you step the left foot back into plank. You decide if you want to play a little, lift a leg. When you're ready, lower. Coming into Sphinx once more, taking a few cat-cows in Sphinx. You're getting too warm, exhale through the mouth to let out some heat. Pausing in Sphinx, getting nice and long, maybe picking up one leg and then the other an inch or two, pointing the toes, feeling the front of the hip, having a little space there, and then pressing those hip points down for stability. Take a breath. Tuck the toes, rise up into forearm plank. Option to stay there or walk the feet up into dolphin. Walk back, lower, release the head, hands under shoulders, lift the heart into cobra. Want more heat? You can raise the hands. You can raise the feet. Maybe you extend the arms back. Hands back underneath the shoulders, release the head. Bring the hands underneath the forehead, bend knees. Rotate the feet at the ankles. And allow them to drop over to the left. The knees are bent, feet are just windshield wipering side to side. Send the legs out long, hands under shoulders. Tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Pedal out feet. Checking in with the shoulders. That are in a place that feels stable and comfortable, never ignoring the body's messages that something's not serving you. Walking the hands to the feet. And forward fold. Root down, rise up, palms touch overhead, gentle back bend. Bare hands to the heart. So your back body should be facing the top of the mat where you began, so just gently turn. So now we're back where we began. Release arms down, root down, rise up. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, feet back into plank. Take a breath. Exhale it out through the mouth. Slowly lower. And if you have blocks in front of you, extend your forearms onto the block. So you decide, probably at level 1 or 2, not 3. Just forearms on the block, right off the mat, right in front of your head. Reach with the fingertips, spread wide. And then pressing the left forearm onto the block, begin to bend the right knee. Reach around with the right hand and grab the top of the right foot, or reach for it, or use a strap. And then keep the gaze on the earth. This is like dancer pose, but on the ground. You can kick into that right hand a little bit if you'd like to allow the right thigh to come off of the earth. Maybe the left hand takes Agni Mudra. Just notice the breath. Any adjustments for support or ease? You can even layer on an Ujjayi breath here for warmth. Releasing that right foot, extending the right arm back onto the block. And on the out breath, let your heart sink into the earth. Your head might kind of come in between the blocks a little. Right hand takes Agni Mudra as the left knee bends, and left hand comes around to grab the top of the left foot, or a modified bow pose. Give the head a little shake side to side. Make sure there's ease in the neck. Raise that left knee off the earth a little. And even for stability and support, pointing the right toes for balance. How much heat would you like to build in this moment? You feel the energetic quality of Agni Mudra with the right hand. Let's give it 3 swahas. Let's take an exhale. Swaha, swaha, swaha. I burn, I burn. I burn what no longer serves me, creating space for what I want to welcome in. Exhale, release that left leg. Extend the left arm onto the block. Let the head sink in a little, heart sinks towards the earth. Still energizing through those fingertips as we release the mudra. Bringing hands underneath the shoulders. Toes touch, knees wide, pressing it back to child's pose. Using blocks under forehead, cushions under torso. Walk the hands over to the right. Left hand on top of right hand. Walking hands back through center. And over to the left. Right hand on top of left palm. Coming back to center, coming back up into tabletop. Take a moment for any movement, wiggling, tucking the toes, coming back up into downward facing dog. Big exhale through the mouth. Take one more opportunity, flowing for some heat, walking hands to feet. Fold in. Arms out to the side as you root down, rise up. Palms touch, gentle back bend. Prayer hands right through the center Sushumna line. When it arrives at the heart, fold in. Hands to the earth, walk out to plank. Pause in plank. Lower. Coming into forearm plank. So start with Sphinx. Raise the hips up. Decide if you want to take dolphin or any kind of inversion. What are you burning away? Take all the time you like exploring there, releasing. Hands under shoulders, coming back into downward facing dog. Walking hands to feet. Fold in. And rise up. Palms to the heart center. Place one hand over the other on the heart center. Exhale through the mouth. And just notice any sensations within you. Exhale through the mouth. And gently making your way to the earth. Having your blocks. We're going to come to a seated shape with your knees bent, feet flat. With the blocks right in front of your feet. So knees are bent, feet flat. Bring the hands right underneath the knees. The feet are a little ways in front of you. Toes are kind of almost touching the blocks. And really get long from that base of the spine up to the crown of the head. Lift the heart. Maybe the eyes are open or closed. Exhale through the mouth. And then bring the heels onto the blocks. You can hold on underneath the thighs. Keep that heart lifted. Right, feel free to wiggle on the hips a little. And then you decide where you'd like to go. Right, there's no hierarchy of anything, but what will give you a nice gentle burn where the breath can still flow and nourish you? Maybe the arms go out in front of you. Keep that heart lifted. Maybe you play with raising one leg and then the other. Maybe you play with hands underneath the hamstrings. Right, so you decide. Taking boat pose. Releasing hands to the earth, releasing feet down to the earth. In front of you, a little bit extended out in front of the knees, fingertips pointing towards your hips as you raise the hips in reverse table. Lifting out the belly, the shoulders. Releasing hips to the earth, bringing the heels back to the blocks. Lift the heart, lift the arms. Taking boat pose once more. Feel the warmth. Swaha. Release hands, the earth, feet to the earth, and lift the hips. Reverse table. The neck long. Really press hands and feet into the earth. Release the hips down, gently come onto your back. Bring the knees to the heart. Little rock side to side, or happy baby. Release the arms down by the side and extend the feet up to the sky. Rotate the feet at the ankles, wiggle toes, the legs a little shake. Rock the hips. And soften the knees and feet come back to the earth. Walking the heels towards the sits bones a little bit. The next out breath, let your back body get heavy on the earth. Just take another breath or two to tune into sensations. What are you feeling within? Now pressing feet and shoulders into the earth, allow the hips to peel off of the ground, arms are down by your side. Raise the hips up. And vertebra by vertebra, slowly lowering back down. And raise back up. Take a few raises and lowers until you find a place to hold your bridge pose. Always available to put a block or a cushion or rolled up towel between your thighs. Takes a lot of pressure off of your SI joints in your low back. If you strengthen the adductors, that's the inner thigh. So it's an option if you want to layer that on. And you decide, leaving hands underneath, rolling shoulders closer underneath your back body, raising a leg, or taking supported bridge, sliding something underneath your spine and the low part by the sacrum. Taking a few minutes to explore bridge pose. And as that low part of your root part of your body, of your spine, where that potential something you wanted to burn away was located, do you feel a spaciousness in that area now as it gets raised up? Slowly releasing, coming out of that shape when you're ready. Bring your knees to the heart. And then just hugging the left knee into the heart, stretching the right leg out long. Letting the front of that right hip have an opportunity to get heavy. Taking your right hand on the outside of that right knee, left arm out to shoulder height, and take the twist as the left knee drops over to the right. This is my offering of the twist. You can change it. Both knees can be bent. One can be bent, the top can extend, right? Feel free to play and explore. Fully unwind, back to center. Keep that right leg long, hug that left knee into the heart. That left foot, one more final rotation. And then send that left foot up to the sky with a flexed foot. Then gently press through that left heel as the straight leg, but with a soft knee, slowly lowers down to meet. The right leg maybe hover an inch above the ground, pressing through that left heel before it releases. Taking a moment to notice one side over the other. Bending the right knee, hugging it into the heart, clasping on the right hamstring or below the knee, circling the right foot. Left hand grabs somewhere on the right knee, maybe on the outside. You might even shift your hips a little. Left leg is extended. Right arm out to the right at shoulder height as you take the twist on the opposite side. Using blocks or cushions, right? If there's anywhere that there's a space between your body and the earth, you can fill it. Place it underneath that right knee. Coming back through center, hugging that right knee to the heart. Maybe giving that left foot a little flexing. Extending that right foot up to the sky, flex the foot. And gently lead with that right heel as the leg begins to lower, coming down, maybe hovering an inch above the earth. Might feel an extra opening in the front of the right hip. And softening it completely down to the earth when you're ready. Both legs long and on the earth. Opening the palms to the sky. As the arms are by your side, bringing that ring finger to the base of the thumb. Taking that Agni Mudra. Allowing the power of your inner fire to burn with the breath. Awakening things that need to shift and release. Within is the answer to change what is without. And exhale through the mouth. And then taking the next few moments to move your body in any way for your physical practice to feel complete. Take your time. Take any movement just wants to happen. Take movement, take a big exhale, a sip of water. Then gathering props or blankets or taking legs up the wall, finding a place that we can rest together. You might use Swaha on the breath as a mantra, or you might just completely let go and just allow whatever wisdom that's already within you that you've unearthed a little bit more of with the fire in this moment. Let's take one big exhale through the mouth together. Let's just be here together. Gently begin to just notice more of your physical body in space. Noticing your breath. And notice if you feel any shift of spaciousness, whether it's in a solid level of you or more energetic. And if you had something in the root of your spine that came to you, just noticing how that feels in this moment. You're in a reclined shape, you're welcome to stay there or rise up. Maybe the eyes stay closed, allowing for that deep connection within you to remain. Placing one hand over the other on the heart center. Sending compassion to yourself for taking a journey. And turning the palms towards the screen, towards the world, sending that love and compassion out to each other. Bringing hands in prayer, bowing chin to heart, thumbs to third eye. Thank you for your beautiful practice and your beautiful presence. Jai Bhagwan.